In general, I'm passionate about the intersection of technology and storytelling. That's something that has been driving me for my whole life. I started out with filmmaking, turning my ideas into something actually tangible for others was something that I started to get excited about as a small kid. That slowly turned into a business. I founded a film production company, turned into a marketing agency, and in the last years, I've been diving deep into AI, and have just been fascinated by the possibilities this opens for storytelling. And also dive deeper into the building side of things to be able to build technical products myself. And what I'm currently building is Public. That's with the mission to solve the distribution problem for B2B founders, because many of my friends are founding themselves, and I noticed how difficult the issue of distributing the product is. Like, it has become so easy to build products, so the building part is not the moat anymore. The distribution part is the moat anymore. How to get trust and attention, and with Public, I aim to solve this. And the first product that I'm building is a LinkedIn agent that takes care of your whole LinkedIn marketing, builds your personal brand, and then does personalized outreach for you. So you can get the leads and use the power of the algorithm to reach the right people with what you're offering.
Oh, dude, I've got so many questions. Like, we spent some time together. We had some great conversations, and I was thinking up, like, where do I even begin to start? There are so many facets of you that are so interesting. Let's start with the storytelling. Like, how did you become a great storyteller? Your content has this like rich taste to it that you find in movies, right? Like director's cuts of movies. Where did you hone that craft?
It's all about getting those reps in. Like, again, I started at 8 years old with my dad's DSLR, filming shitty short form movies with my friends, doing stop motion with Lego figures. And if I look back in the first years of content, like the first 6 years sucked. So it really is all about repeating it over and over and over again until you
Were you
find.
like an iMovie user back in the day?
I've used iMovie. Like, my first own device I used was the iPod Touch.
No
uh,
way.
4G and iMovie on the iPod Touch, and there were like some shitty apps for special effects and stuff like that. That was the early days.
Oh, I do you take any inspiration from certain directors or like certain motifs, artists?
I've always been a YouTube kid, so there were like those early YouTubers. I was a
Oh,
PewDiePie
tell me.
and there were German. There was this German YouTube group they called White Titty. It's a bit
Yeah.
of a weird name, but they were doing like really fun comedy videos and song parodies. And they're also just three boys like in their childhood bedroom with a camera of their parents filming cool skits. And like, this was always what really fascinated me, the broadcast yourself approach. Sure, I'm also like, the movies are also like Hollywood. Big fan of Christopher Nolan, Damien Chazelle, but what I really like is the ability that everyone can be a storyteller. Everyone can get their story out there. So like, YouTube is my favorite platform, and I probably took most of my inspiration from actual other YouTubers.
YouTube is an incredible platform. You get to learn so much on it. You can educate people, but you can also entertain in a way, like the way that I think people sleep on the fact that like it is your channel. You make your content. You are a TV network in your own right, and people can tune in daily, weekly, like second, or like by the second if they want with shorts, and it's just more incredible than ever before. When we talk about B2B, then like how do you take that storytelling approach over to that?
That's the question. That's what most people are struggling with, because most people
Give us the
haven't.
source.
I think it's the most important thing is just being authentic and showing the human side. Like, it's so easy. Like, everyone can spin up their own B2B SaaS in the weekend, give it a landing page and get
It
it
seems
out
like it's
there.
just like blindfolded by vibe code lovable if you're a talented engineer.
Exactly, exactly. So this part is so easy. And like, for one problem, you have 100 different SaaS all offering the same solution with all the shiny landing pages and probably all the product that is like half decent. But that's not what people want. People want to connect with the product. They want to really trust it. And I think for this, like, the human connection is most important. And I think the best way to get this human connection is by building in public. That's what I'm a huge fan of. Really sharing your journey as a founder. Also making clear, hey, I haven't figured it out all, I haven't it all figured out, but I just learn as I go, and being really genuine about what you share, and also just give value to others without expecting anything in return. I think that's the best way to build this trust. Give others value, make them listen to you, make them trust you, and then they will also test your products and try your products. And this has been working. I'm a big fan of like the indie hacking solopreneur scene on Twitter. They have been doing it for the past 10 years. and it has been working extremely well. And I think now we slowly start seeing the shift that also more classical VC-backed companies are starting to notice the power of this. It doesn't cost anything. It's the most powerful way to build this trust and attention and get this mode of a distribution. The only thing it takes is a lot of time and effort, because it's really a long-term game. It's not like paid ads where you can just throw in money and get the results, but you have to invest a lot in the beginning to get things going, and it's this exponential curve. But once things are going, once you figured out your voice, it's the most powerful way to get this trust and attention.
One of the most beautiful things about building in public is the fact that if you have to pivot, you have this opportunity to actually do it successfully, because the audience is not only invested in the product, they're invested in you as a person. Do you see that as you're building public?
I mean, I haven't switched ventures that much, so I don't know yet, but that's exactly something I've been trying. I mean, there's different ways to build your personal brand. You can go deep on your vertical if you already have a working product, only target your ICP, but then the issue is you're kind of tied to the niche you're working in. Or you can build a more general personal brand where, as you said, people follow you for you and your journey. And when you build a new venture, you still have that audience that listens to you. And this is also the approach that I've been taking, which may sometimes lead to like not the most targeted growth. Some audience is pretty random in some ways. And it also has the danger of one of those posts, if you have cover a lot of topics and one of those posts goes viral, it may be hard to sneak in those other topics again, because then you suddenly have like a huge percentage of your audience following you just for this one topic. I experienced it myself with like a post about Europe that went viral. But I think in general, that's the smarter way to do it. And I assume, but I don't know that yet, like when I build public and maybe build another venture, this will definitely compound and will make things easier for every other venture I'm going to build.
I've got to ask, like, why Taiwan of all places to spend some time? Is there a relationship with the place that you have? I know you're from Europe, but you're going out there to build, like lock in and build. Tell me about Taiwan as a place right now.
Yeah, I mean, the question is why not Taiwan? It's a really beautiful
It's a
country.
good question. It's a great question.
No, but I have a connection to Taiwan. I did my exchange semester here a couple of years ago, and my girlfriend has family in Taiwan. So that was kind of made it the obvious choice. Like we can live in her family's apartment. I love the country, and I wanted to get a change in environment. I think that's always a really helpful thing in order to start a new chapter, get new ideas, get new inspiration, get out of your like everyday rhythm. But I didn't want to do it in a country that I don't know yet, and where I like first have to spend weeks finding my way. So for me personally, Taiwan is the perfect sweet spot, as I already know the country. I don't like, after a few days I was acclimated and could just locked in. But it's still very exotic and very different from Europe, to get so many new impressions, so much new inspiration. So that's just, for me, it was the sweet spot to build from here.
What's the culture like out there for building at the moment, building technology products? Is there a startup scene, an ecosystem there that's like actively building? And obviously just the culture in general, is there an entrepreneurship there that allows you to just constantly feed off of that and be like, yeah, let's push ourselves?
I wouldn't say it's the craziest place.
It's not San Fran.
It's not SF, it's not Berlin, it's not London, but there's a entrepreneurial culture here, especially in Taipei. But back when I studied here in the university, I was deep in those entrepreneurial classes and also pitched a startup to VCs. That was an interesting experience. So they have an ecosystem. It's different from Europe. It's, I would say, more corporate driven. Like there are those old family companies, or like big state supported companies like TSMC. They make up their ecosystem and they have their own funds and try to get new technology companies going. So it's not that like small grassroots driven, but more like on top big corporate driven. But that makes it extremely powerful. And also there are actually quite a lot of solopreneurs and indie hackers, digital nomads, that also choose Taiwan as a place to live and build. Like I met a few app developers from the US that just live here and build their own indie apps. So like that's more again on the indie hacking scene. There are all kinds of people. But if you don't have any connection to Taiwan and you really want to thrive in some entrepreneurial ecosystem, it might not be the most obvious choice. But if you just want to log in without distraction, live in a country that has great quality of life and is still affordable, has great infrastructure, amazing people, not that touristy, then Taiwan is a very good destination.
Is the plan with Public to build out the first part of the product in that LinkedIn agent there, come back to Europe and then to continue building?
Yes, that's the idea. My ultimate goal is to go more into outreach, into personalized outreach, and also incorporate my filmmaking experience, because I believe video outreach, personalized video outreach, is extremely interesting.
Oh, so underrated at this moment in time.
100%. But I also believe that in order to do that in a very effective way, especially now with the video models, the good video models are still very costly, you need to have some kind of signals before that. So I think this inbound, outbound mixture approach is the most powerful way to get leads in B2B. So first, do your content, clearly target your ICP, let the algorithm find the right leads for you. Those people interact with your content, they already get a feeling for you, and then use those signals to do personalized outreach. Like, have this one guy, you see, okay, in the last 10 posts, he interacted with 3 of them where I talked about this pain point. Let's do a personalized outreach that shows, hey, we're solving this pain point just for you. Like, I think this is the most powerful way to get leads. But in order to do that, you first need to have the foundation of a personal brand and like a content engine that works for you. So that's why I'm starting in this area. And I talk to a lot of B2B founders. Most of them have no clue how to get going. Most of them have any time, but they have, like, they see the potential and they have the willingness to adopt technology to do the work for them. That's why I also think for such an automated personal branding engine, B2B tech founders are the best audience and the best ICP to start with. So the starting point right now, what I'm focusing on is getting this initial brand clarity. I'm working on an onboarding process that like scrapes in the internet for all information about you, and then really helps you nail this positioning for you and how to get started, because a lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there. But if you show them, hey, this could be a strategy, this is what works, this is what other people are doing, how about you position yourself like that, that makes them more comfortable. And then use the strategy to give them targeted content ideas, and they just have to yap a couple of minutes and the agent takes care of the packaging and gets the content out there. This is the first step to make the life as easy as possible for them, but still everything that gets out there as content is based on their thoughts, on their idea. We are enhancing their thoughts. We're not telling them what to say, as like many other AI tools try to do, which I'm not a fan of. And once this foundation is there, then I will focus on the outbound approach to take all the signals, who's interacting with what, use that to optimize the content, but also use that to do personalized outreach. And I think then once this whole system is working, this can be very, very powerful. But of course, baby steps. So one after the other. I don't want to like overdo it and try to build like a half-fledged product that tries to do it all but doesn't do anything right. So right now I really want to nail the onboarding process part. Then I really want to nail the content creation part, and then I really want to nail the outbound part. That's kind of the strategy I'm going for. But I mean,
yeah. How are you thinking about agents at the moment? Which ones are you using? Do you prefer the OpenAI ones? Do you prefer the Claude ones? Is Grok even an agent that you can consider using at this moment in time? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not a fan of Grok. It's too shady for me. Like, there's been too much crazy shit going on. I don't trust Elon. I don't trust XAI. I don't like how lightheartedly they take the safety aspect. So like that's out of the picture. I'm a huge fan of Anthropic, what they're doing. I think their approach to AI seems very sensible. And for me, Claude is the best model out there. And I have the $200 a month max plan. I do everything with Claude, to be honest. I use Claude Code for building. It's such a crazy powerful coding agent. I use Claude on desktop with MCP to automate pretty much everything. And with the MCP connections, I use like pre-built MCP servers like with Notion and Google Drive and Gmail, but then I also have custom MCP automations. Like, for example, I have my own LinkedIn automations where I use N8N to build them and like scrape LinkedIn accounts and have my own databases and connect them via MCP server to Claude. And that makes it really fast to iterate. And also now for the product engineering of Public, test out different workflows, test out different prompts before actually hard coding them and building them as a product. Just quickly like open a new Claude project, give it a new system prompt, like connect the right MCPs that I need for that, and then just iterate as long as I feel like, okay, now we have the right output. Now I have the workflow and the prompts that I need, and then take this blueprint and build it as a scalable product in Cursor with Claude Code. That's kind of the process I'm using right now, and I think that's very, very, very powerful and saves a lot of time and headache and just gets me to the right result much faster, because I only build when I know, hey, this is actually working with the models I use, with the prompts I use.
Are you able to hook up Claude to some of the video models as well?
You can do that, but that's still not that elegant. Like you can, I mean, you can connect. I don't think there's a pre-built connection, no pre-built MCP, but for example, like you could use like File AI connected with your n8n, have your own MCP server, and then tell Claude to create a video. But I mean, Claude doesn't have a native video player, so it would just send you the links of the output, and you have to go back and forth. That's not that elegant yet. What I find really promising in the agentic video area is what Manos has been doing, Manos AI. Uh, they basically built like the first Vibe videographer, where they actually also, I mean, they also plug in Veo 3. You give it a rough idea for the video, and it proactively thinks of the frames it needs to create as images, and then proactively thinks of the scenes, then goes to Veo 3 or whatever video model, creates those scenes, stitches them together, and hands you the final video. This is pretty promising and pretty powerful, and I think there's a lot more to come in that regard in the next month. But for that, Cloud is not the best option yet, I would say.
Given that you're building software, right, and it's technology at its core, how do you think about how it gets implemented into some of the agentic browsers that are coming out? You know, we look at the browser company from New York with Dia, and then you've got Perplexity releasing Comet. Do you see Publyc sitting inside of those, or do you see it as like a standalone application?
I think it should be a standalone application, but I mean, ideally it should work in every environment. And my idea for Publyc is really to build it as AI native as possible. So I mean, I haven't tried out Dia yet. I'm not a fan of how they abandoned Arc, so I'm still protesting and using Arc.
I'm hating it as well, but the world moves on, and it's very similar. It's just a commandy. You get the vertical bars. That's the main thing.
I think once there's the point when like those browsers offer to be your second brain and have all the knowledge about you, then it can be really interesting, because ideally then they also offer kind of a connection option for your apps to connect with it, and then it might be a cool way to use it as a knowledge base. So that's definitely interesting to explore, but I think like that's too early now. Like the adoption is too low of those browsers, and you can't really rely that people are using them through that. And actually right now I'm developing Publyc mobile first. I think that's just like the easiest way for people to interact with, and I want to make it as frictionless as possible. So let's see where that goes. But I mean, definitely something interesting to consider. But to be honest, I'm not that sure if those AI browsers really will be like the top knowledge layer, or if in the end just like Google wins and says, hey, we have everything already, just step into Gemini and we have your ultimate AI assistant. I don't know how sustainable that is.
It's very true. It's like with their acquisition of the acqui-hire of the CEOs, and then Windsurf moving over to Cognition. It's like this weird blend of like, oh, I got the talent I needed to. I can go rebuild Windsurf. Great. And then what happens next is like, do we build that into the browser? Does it come a standalone app? Something along those lines. It's going to be interesting to see where that ends up.
Yeah. But I mean, no matter how that ends up, I think in general, I'm most bullish on Google in the AI race, because they actually have another viable business model that they can cross-finance everything. They have like everyone is using their apps. They have all the data. They have all the connections. They have
they have the infra.
They have the infra. They have everything, so they can endure this like the longest. And even if it turns out, hey, it's actually not that profitable in the next years, like they can do it. Maybe investors will pull out of OpenAI, pull out of Anthropic, whatever, but like Google can do it. The only issue with Google is like the aspect of like monopoly, and maybe like the government will do something against it, and B, that they're kind of destroying their own business model. But I think they're well aware of it, and so far I'm pretty impressed on how they're handling it. So yeah,
it's an interesting dynamic. Like they're cannibalizing the advertising model, right? But at the same time, they're also trying to reinvent it in like a way that they could, right? We don't want the traditional advertising of we search for something and something pops up. Maybe it's something more nuanced, but how are we paying for that? I don't think anyone's figured it out. I think people are talking about it online. It's definitely a conversation that is actively happening. It's like the whole economy runs on clicks on the internet at this rate, right? It's like we go and purchase something. We're a capitalist society. We're a consumer society more than that. And the world is only becoming more consumer focused, consumerism. Did you, as I was doing prepping for this, did you spend some time at the residency, the Sam Altman backed founder house?
Yes, I did last year.
What was that like? Tell me about it. It's this like from what I've seen, it's like this coveted in like a coveted world. Tell me more.
Yeah, that was one of the most transformative experiences I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Just experience San Francisco in general, but then also being part of such an insane community of crazy, ambitious, driven people that really A, showed me what's possible, and I think also made me more ambitious. But B, it also showed me that like those people that you see on the internet doing all those shiny things, like they're also just people that have no clue and are just figuring things out. But the difference is that they just get going no matter what. They don't ask for permission. They don't stop if there's a failure happening or there's a setback happening. They just keep going, and they have this maybe also naivete that they can just fucking figure it out and do it. And that was so beautiful to experience, and also made me much more confident in my own path and what I want to create. And while I was there, it was also very cool to see their journeys evolving. Like when I started, we had this garage that was like very scrappy with just trash cans and cupboards. And then actually during my time there, 3 of the residents I lived with formed a founding team, and they turned this garage into a hardware lab where they produced Pocket. It's like a AI second brain voice recording
Are you
assistant.
kidding me?
They got 3D printers, CNC machines, and turned this into like a prototype production for the project. And that was so cool to see. And and that for me is kind of the best analogy on how to describe the spirit there. Like 1 month from trash garage to hardware lab in some random house in San Francisco. That's the spirit, and that was really cool to experience.
Was there a reason why you chose that particular, I don't know how to describe it, community versus a go into a YC accelerator or find another type like EF?
Yeah, at the time, I mean, I just literally handed in my thesis, finished my studies, and thought, okay, fuck, I want to like build, I want to get going, but I don't really know what yet, and I feel like I want to focus more on the learning side of things, and don't really go in on one venture already. And also, I wrote my thesis somehow around the domain of solopreneurs and indie hackers. So I was kind of primed of this like independent, bootstrapped, fuck VCs kind of route. So I was sure I didn't want to go into some accelerator and sell my soul and already do some shitty equity deal without having anything. And the residency is just the perfect place for that because they don't pressure you. You don't have to pay any equity. You just pay a little rent, but it also is partly covered by sponsors. And they give you the space to do whatever you want, explore whatever you want. Ideally, of course, you then, after first weeks, figure out one thing that you're heading towards. But I spent the first 2 months just really focused on learning how to build like mini projects and get better on the technical side of things. And being in a house surrounded by technical people was the perfect opportunity for that. So they helped me with that, and I helped them with figuring out marketing, branding, and distribution. So that was a great win-win.
Perfect blend, right? I love it. Like during that process, did you think about if you had gone and just built something anyway or gone into a more traditional role, do you think you would have regretted that for the rest of your life?
I mean, you never know. I don't like this thinking of regret. I think like whatever decision you take, let's just go with it. Like it's sunk cost. You don't know how everything else turned out, but I'm really happy with that I took this leap. It was extremely last minute. I didn't have any visa. I just like hopped on a plane a week after handing in my thesis.
Was there a reason you chose San Fran over the London house, or is there one in Europe?
And there's also one in London and Berlin. But I mean, for me, it was like I've watched Silicon Valley. I've like seen everything coming out of Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area. There's a certain magic to it, and I really wanted to experience it myself. So this is definitely something. If I wouldn't have done it then, I probably tried really hard to find another way to experience it. And I'm really happy I did. And I think everyone that is even only remotely interested in entrepreneurship and technology should spend a couple of months in the Bay Area. It's definitely a wild place to experience.
I hear like it's the Wild West at the moment. It's like it's the best place on earth if you want to build. That's not to say that London or Berlin isn't. It's just like America has an engine that when it gets started and it tries to allocate capital and people want to go build stuff, Silicon Valley is the place to go, isn't it?
I mean, the density is crazy. Like, no matter where you are, like, you run through a random park and you hear people talking about term sheets and AI models in every corner. And like, I met random people on a hackathon, see them a week later in some bar. Like, I mean, it's not a big place. San Francisco is like 500 million people, and the ratio of tech people and startup people is just so high that you can't escape it. And I think that's what makes it so powerful.
Do you get an urge to go back?
Yeah, I will get back one time. Yeah.
Leon, this has been an absolute pleasure. I'm looking forward to having you on again. We're going to follow the public build, like in public as well. I love the name public, building in public, building public. And we're going to have you on constantly to give us updates of like how it's going. You're obviously bootstrapping this business and it's going to be amazing. I'm very, very bullish on you. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks, man. Happy to stay in touch and happy to join the future episodes.
Thanks, Leon. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, have a good one.